Hey guys, ever been in a situation where you wanted to watch a TV show or a movie online and it's geo-restricted, meaning it's not available to watch in your country? Well, in this project, we're going to build a custom personal VPN server using AWS and Open VPN. All you need to get going is a free tier AWS account and 15 minutes of your time. So follow along the step-by-step tutorial so that you can be right on time to watch the drama. The very first thing that we need to do before we begin is to check what our current IP address is. This is in order to verify that our VPN is working later on. So if you go to ipchicken.com and like in my case, if I just hit refresh, I can see this is my current IP address. A point to be noted here is that I'm already connected on another VPN through a US server. This is just so that I'm not revealing my actual IP address. So as you can see, I'm connected to a United States server using NordVPN. And you can verify the IP address right here at the bottom where the cursor is at, and you can see the same address in the IP Chicken website. So this is like step zero in the tutorial. This is the baseline. This is the IP address that we are currently on, and this is something that we need to get away from. So our main problem right now is trying to access content that is geographically blocked, meaning it's not available in certain countries. Let's take, for example, TVF. It's one of the leading Indian media creating website. It's very popular. I'm sure most of the viewers would know. But as you can see here, if I'm accessing TVF through a US server, I'm facing this paywall right here. It won't let me access the content without actually subscribing to something. This is something that is not there on the Indian version of the website. Users in India can directly watch shows for free. So to validate that claim, let us connect to an Indian server, Indian VPN server. So NordVPN lets me connect to most of their servers in the world on just one click of a button. So as you can see now, I'm connected to Indian servers. So if I open a new tab and just go back again to TVF Play, there you go. The paywall is not there. This is suggesting that there is different versions of websites that are being served to users across the world. For people living in India, most of their content is free to watch. If we click play, I'm sure it will start playing. I don't want to do that for copyright reasons and whatnot, but take my word on it. I've already tried it, and you can watch videos. All you need to do is just subscribe, in the sense that you need to have an account. But that's pretty much most of the websites these days. So, anyway, that shouldn't be a problem. So we've just verified that we face a paywall when we access through US servers, and if we access it to Indian servers, we don't get the paywall. So this is our target. We want to get here. So now moving on to step one. The actual step in this main project is, and the key step rather I'd say, is having an AWS account. AWS lets you have a free account for a year, granting access to almost all of their services completely free and at a generous capacity as well. So if you don't have an account, you can get started for free. Use this link on their website and create an account. In my case, I do have an account, so I'm just gonna sign in. So in this case, I already have signed into my AWS account, and this is the main management console dashboard. So since we are targeting Indian websites, so what we could do in order to set up our VPN to access the website using Indian servers is we can go into the AWS regions tab up now on the top right, and we can select the Asia Pacific Mumbai server. That means that where our server will be created in AWS's India data centers. So once we are in the AWS Mumbai region, we can go ahead and launch an EC2 instance. Easier way to do it is click on services, EC2, and you can use the launch instance button. I don't know why we have to click it twice. That is the way it is. And now the main part is to have a custom OpenVPN AMI. So you can start off with the basic AMI. AMI is Amazon Machine Image. But in our case, we want it to be done really quickly. So what we could do is just go to AWS Marketplace right here on the left side, search for Open VPN, no spaces, and we select the first one, that is OpenVPN Access Server, and we want to make sure this is free tier eligible, otherwise we'll have to pay for it. But our target is a VPN server that is 100% free, so we'll go ahead and select the first AMI, that is OpenVPN Access Server, and launch it. So don't worry about these rates. With this server you get two users, one is admin and one can be any assigned user. So we hit continue, and just review, sorry, we want to make sure we select T2 micro, since this is the only instance that is free tier eligible. And for honestly, like if it's just you who's going to be using this server, all you T2 micro is more than sufficient for your needs. So we're just going to set everything to default and review and launch. So I'm going to create a new key pair for this. And make sure you download your key pairs right away, because this is the only time you can download it. You won't be able to download these key pairs ever again after you have closed this window. Once you've downloaded the key pairs in a safe location, you can click launch instance. This is going to take some time to load and launch, so magic of editing, and we're here. Okay, at this point our instance should be up and running. We can click on the newly created instance to check its status, and you can see that it's in green, that means it's running, and this is our instance ID. So a few things we need to take care of here. The most important thing is noting the public IP address of this VPN server. This is going to be your new IP address for the VPN server. So keep a note of this IP address. Don't worry if you lose it, you can find it back again here in the dashboard. And now, in order to connect to this instance, right click on the instance name, hit connect. Most of the users will be using an SSH client to connect to this instance. So you can click an SSH client tab. This is our instance ID. This is the command to connect to the instance. If you're using Linux or Mac, you can do it right away through the terminal. Windows has recently added support into the command prompt to be able to SSH, but you need a couple more steps in order to do that. So let's go ahead. In order to connect to the instance using a Windows machine, you need to first set permissions for the key file that you've just downloaded. So in our case, this is indiavpn.pem. Right click on the file, hit properties, hit security, hit advanced. And what we need to do is revoke access for everybody and just add access to the user, that is you. So in our case, if we try to delete the administrator access, it says there's inheritance. I mean, some other roles are dependent on this role to be able to access this file. We don't want that. We don't want anybody else accessing this file. So what we can do is just disable inheritance and remove all inherited permissions from this object. So this is basically revoked all the permissions for this file. Now we only want to add permission for ourselves to this. So we hit add, select a principal, and you type in users and then your machine's username. You hit check names. Okay, that didn't come out right. There we go. So all you need to enter is your own username for the machine, and it will automatically pick that up. Hit OK, and make sure you select full control. OK, and apply the changes. So now what this has done is change the permission for this file. If you're on Linux or Mac, all you need to do is just copy this command chmod 400 and the file name and run it in the terminal. It will just set the same. It will do the same thing we did on Windows, but it will be a lot quicker. So now moving on to the next part. Now in this step, we need to connect to the instance that we've just created. So easiest way would be using PuTTY, but in this case, I'm going to try out the new Windows terminal. in order to check if your terminal will support SSH, you just need to type SSH. Oops. And if you get this, that means your terminal is ready for SSH. So in this case, we are in my root directory, so we need to go to the folder where we have downloaded the key file. So in order to do that, we use a change directory command, that is cd and two dots, which takes you one directory above. Do it again. You're in the main C drive, and now if I hit cd and type the folder name, so I know my folder is called AWS keys. So if I just hit A and hit tab, it will just pattern match and it shows me the folder that I want to change the directory into. If I hit enter, I'm in AWS keys. This is where I have my key files saved. So, and I can verify this by just typing ls, which is basically listing all files in the directory, and you can see there are two key files in this directory, which is correct. If you are a Linux or a Mac user, all you need to do to connect is just copy the command after you have changed the permissions. If you haven't changed the file permissions yet, you can just do copy the chmod 400 command, paste it, and hit enter. If you were on Linux or Mac, this command would have worked and you would have set the appropriate permissions for the key file. But since we are on Windows, this is not supported. Hence, we have to go the other route and change the permissions manually. Let's go ahead and connect to the instance. To connect to the instance, we just need the command that is supplied by AWS at the SSH client tab. After you right click on your instance, you just need to copy it after you have changed the file permissions for the key file. Just paste it and hit enter. It should do its thing. So it's asking, do you want to continue? Yes. After this point, all you need to do is just keep on hitting enter till the process ends. So if you keep on pressing enter, that is the default yes. So we're going to go ahead and do that. You're going to keep doing that until you see this line, initializing OpenVPN. So the reason we choose this AMI is because OpenVPN comes pre-installed with it, and it saves us the headache of setting it up later. So now this configuration has finished setting up the server. It is asking us to log in as OpenVPN. So basically, we just copy this OpenVPN AS. This is the username. So it has gone ahead and disconnected us from the server. So now you paste the same command again. A neat trick is to just hit the up arrow key to bring back the last command that you just ran, and just scroll over to this part here that says root at the rate ec2. So what this part is doing is it's trying to connect to the root account at ec2 server 65.0.134.122. So now we want to sign in as OpenVPN AS. So we change that and hit enter. It will log in as OpenVPN AS. So since we are into the machine using OpenVPN AS account, we need to set a password for this account. Now that we're logged in as OpenVPN AS, what we need to do is set up a password for the second user, that is OpenVPN. This will be the account that you would log into to access the VPN server. So in order to do that, all we need to do is type sudo password, and that is WD, not WORD, and type the account name, and it would be OpenVPN. Hit enter and it will prompt you to enter a new password. Enter your password, enter it again, and it should prompt you with saying password has updated successfully. So well, now that we have the password updated successfully, what we need to do is actually connect to the server. So in order to do that, let's go back into our AWS instance on which the server is running, and we need to copy the public IPv4 address. This can be found under EC2 instances and the instance ID. And once you click on the instance ID, you should get the summary, and this should be right there. So open a new tab and paste the IPv4 address there. Make sure you have it formatted correctly. In this case, it would be the IP address colon the port number. In this case, it is 943 forward slash and admin. So once you hit enter, it should take you to the admin login page. We just set up a new account called Open VPN, and that's what we're going to use to log in as. So Open VPN and the password that we just set. Okay, hit enter, and you should be into the portal. So there we go. We are now into the OpenVPN server. You hit agree. If you want to read that, read that. I don't really have the time. There we go. So this is the main landing page for the admin dashboard. So we need to go to VPN settings in the top left. So not top left, just center left. And the most important thing to check here is this line under routing. Should client internet traffic be routed through VPN? Yes, that is the main reason we are setting this up. So this is selected as no by default. Make sure you select it as yes and save settings. Once you hit save settings, you should see this dialog box up on the top. Scroll up and click on update running server. What it will do is it will make the changes to the server instance that is currently running. Well, we just set up the server with the admin account. Now we need to actually connect to the server using our Windows machine. So how do we do that? So we take the same link, that is the IP address and the admin portal, but we just change one thing here. Just delete the admin part and hit enter. Now it will take you to the main user login section, and in this case, sign in. Now there we go. This is prompting you to download the OpenVPN client. So you have various options here. Since I'm on the Windows machine, I'm just going to go and download the Windows client. So you click on this. And you just wait for it to load. There we go. It's save file. It should download right away or not, depending on your internet speeds. But in my case, it's just about done. So you open this. So make sure you hit more info and click on run anyway, because this is coming from a, I don't know if it's a third party publisher, but whatever, Windows. Let's wait for it to do its thing. Hit next. As usual, accept the terms without looking. Install. Yes. And hit finish. And what it'll do is it'll install the OpenVPN client on your machine. And as you can see, it's already installed. You open the client, next, skip to agree, okay. And it has already went ahead and loaded the profile for you. This is the server we're trying to connect. So in this case, if you just toggle it on, it will ask you to enter the credentials. Remember, those are in VPN, and the password you just set. You hit OK. Boom, you're connected to the very own VPN server that you just created. So we just finished creating the server. Now we have to validate it, right? We want to make sure that we are actually connected using a VPN and not just something going on, right? So remember IP chicken, remember the IP address that we just verified at the very start of the tutorial. This was it, 217.138.198.222. Now if you just hit refresh, it should change. And it did. Right? Now, have you seen this IP address before? Yes, we have. This is the same public IP address of the AWS EC2 instance that we set up. So now any traffic going forward out of your machine would first go through the EC2 instance. So this is acting as your VPN host. So for the outside world, your IP address would be that of the EC2 instance's IP address. So now we have effectively set up a VPN server using AWS. Now going back to our main problem, we want to access content that is not available to us in whichever country we currently are in. So let's just go to a new tab. TBF was the website that we're trying to verify this on. Hit enter. Do we see a paywall here? Answer is no. What does that suggest? Suggests that we've successfully created a VPN in AWS India region, and we are successful in bypassing the geo-restricted content and the paywall. That brings you closer towards watching the TV shows that you've been desperately waiting for. Now that you have your VPN set up and no longer geo-restricted based on the content and websites or whatever. I hope this tutorial helped you in learning something new and at the same time making sure that you enjoy at the end of the day. If you liked it, please like, subscribe, and share this video, and leave a comment and drop down your recommendation as to where I can progress with this and what I should cover next. Thank you.